You believe a civil war is on the rise?
A civil war is inevitable. It will happen.
They're not asylum seekers. They've gone through 16 safe countries. They're safe in France. France isn't at war.
And how did you get here?
I get by boat.
By boat?
Yeah, from France.
Migrants are welcome here. Migrants said it's not their fault that they have to leave countries which are subject
That's
to
true.
war.
A lot of that
What
is
did
our
most people
fault.
here in the United Kingdom think about all the migrants that are coming over?
Oh, no, they're a load of racists around here. They're racist. Too racist, man.
The United Kingdom has recently erupted, and the kingdom is not united. In fact, it seems to be very divided at the moment.
It's always been very divided. Scotland's always been fighting England. Welsh is, I don't know what the Welsh have been doing. But the Irish has also always been really fighting the English. So they call it United Kingdom, but it's been like more like Scotland and Ireland versus England. Not necessarily together.
Riots have broken out across the country. The police have made arrests on men and women for speaking out. And the major underlying issue to all this is the current migrant crisis and the two-tier policing inside the United Kingdom. In this video, I will show you what has caused the UK to erupt as I investigate and dig deep into the migrant crisis. I will be going to the start of the issue here in Dover, England, and I will be speaking with UK's most controversial man, Tommy Robinson. I will be attending the largest rally in UK history and going to other cities that have been...
I didn't even know that was the largest rally in UK history. That is wild.
And changed due to the influx of migrants. And I will also be going to certain parts of London where migrants have taken over parks as they have set up their own encampments. This is going to get hectic, and let's start by going to Dover.
If they've taken over parks and just sat up, like, okay, so let me say it like this. In Norway, we have a rule that you're allowed to camp everywhere. You don't have that in every country. So if you're a migrant and you come over and you start just taking over a patch of land, it's very difficult to, what's it called, be on the migrant side on this particular subject, at least.
England. And why is Dover such an important city?
Because the harbor, isn't it?
Here in the United Kingdom, because here in Dover is where thousands and potentially millions of migrants have crossed the English Channel from France on inflatable boats coming here to the United Kingdom. And from Dover to the closest town in France, it is about 20-mile stretch. And once a migrant boat
is it
gets
Dunkirk?
10 miles of
what's that where Dunkirk was
They
going?
are then intercepted by the Coast Guards, and they are brought here to this pier here in Dover. It's a pretty secretive process that goes on here with the migrants. Right behind me is a barricade that we cannot see where the migrants are at. However, we do know that this is where the migrants come in, and they are put behind this wall. And right over there on the other side, there are tents and buses that then take the migrants from here, and they spread them out throughout the United Kingdom. And I'm also here with Brooker T. Jones, my mother, and she's going to be coming along the ride to see what's happening here.
Wait, so they're going there. Is this an English thing? Are there English people that are trying to spread them across the nation? Or is it like a Mexican border type of thing where the cartel is helping spread people across? Like, give me something here, man. Give me something.
With the migrant crisis. So how do the people here feel about the migrants that are coming into Dover?
Pretty badly, innit?
Do they? There's too many coming over. It just ruins this town. It's ruined it.
And would you say the majority of people here in Dover and in the United Kingdom in general are very accepting of the migrants?
No. No one likes them.
What do most people here in the United Kingdom think about all the migrants that are coming over?
Oh, no, they're a load of racists around here. They're racist. Too racist, man.
What do you think causes all the racism?
Well, it's just England, isn't it?
I'm not a racist myself. So with that, they're coming over here. But obviously, at the same time, yes, some of us are struggling. And
A lot of the English are struggling right now, thanks to Brexit, inflation, and a load of other small underlying factors that have probably been brewing for many, many years. And it's very easy to find a common enemy in the migrants. So that could also be a particular reason. But when I lived there, I felt quite a lot of racism. But it was never like... Well, it was a few times when you have people basically straight in your face going, yeah, you fucking get the fuck out of my country. Like, it does happen. But it was never this bad. Like, this is a new high.
And when they come over here, they just get everything handed to them because obviously they're the ones that need the help. But most people in Dover, you could go anywhere and ask anyone, they'd say they belong to go, they have to go back.
How do the people here in the town of Dover feel about the migrants coming in?
I don't know. I don't think they like it.
Why so?
Because they don't belong here.
And where should they go?
Back to their country.
Why?
See there? That's perfect. This is a perfect example. Can you see? This is learned behavior. They don't like it, he said. Where should they go? Back to their country, back to where they belong. This is learned behavior. This is a generationally learned behavior. And this will keep going in an endless cycle.
Why don't you like them coming over in your country?
Because most of them ain't working, you know what I mean?
See, he doesn't know. He has no idea.
Using all our shit.
How do you feel about the migrants that are all coming over?
I think everyone deserves a life, to be honest with you. If they need to come here to be happy and have a life, then I think they should be entitled to.
And so are there like cartels or other groups that smuggle migrants?
This is where my question is.
Probably say so, mate. So there's loads of them.
In the United States, we have cartels that kind of control all the migrants. Is there some sort of thing like that here in the United Kingdom?
I'm sure there is, but you don't see it. You don't see it at all. There's definitely help for these people or misinformation for these people pushing them towards us, but yeah, I'd say there definitely is.
To better understand the UK migrant crisis, I met up with Tommy Robinson. Now, if you do not know who Tommy is, he is known for being the most controversial activist in the United Kingdom.
Isn't this the guy who doesn't even live in their own country and keeps talking shit about migrants and then left the country? Isn't this the guy, Tony Robbins?
As he has no fear to speak his own opinion, the media labels Tommy as a far-right British man who is a racist, fascist, and meanwhile, others say he's a patriot to the United Kingdom. And after this interview, you will see how Tommy managed to hold the largest rally in the United Kingdom history. And now pay close attention to what Tommy says about the UK migrant crisis and comment down below what you think about this issue, because I think some of this information will shock you. What is happening here inside the United Kingdom with the migrant crisis?
The migrant crisis, we're losing our culture, losing our identity, we're being replaced.
We are losing our culture, we are losing our identity. That's fundamentally incorrect, and it's retarded on so many levels. Okay, first and foremost, most of your culture comes from a relation with the rest of Europe. Remember that a lot of the kings have had French and Spanish heritages, right? That's one of the reasons why you have such a big thing with France and the UK. Not only that, but you have some of the highest levels of colonization. And you've had an incredible spice trade with India. And the Indians came in droves, and they saved you under World War II. But now, when they're not needed anymore, it's okay to say shit like this. Like, this is so brain dead, it's almost scary. For somebody who's supposed to be educated about their own country, this is brain dead.
We feel like, well, we're becoming minorities in most major cities. We're being driven out of our own country, driven out of our own towns. So people are uncomfortable with it, but people have been scared into silence from even having these discussions due to the fear of being branded a racist, losing their job, cancel culture. All these things prevent the public from telling the truth. I come from a town that's 30 miles north of London. When I was born in 1982, there was one mosque, there's now 45, yeah? And 50% of the town is Pakistani Muslim. So I see the difference, I see the problems from hostility, the culture, the aggression, Islamic domination, all these things. So I've spoke about it, but 15 years ago, people didn't want to listen.
So he's utilizing an example of one town in London. When I was living in the north, it was predominantly white. And that's not many years ago. That's like three or 4 years ago. Predominantly white. Harrogate, Wakefield, Leeds, Newcastle. You got Manchester. Manchester's a little bit of a different one, but like Stratford, they're predominantly white towns. But he's using one town in London, of which there are many foreigners, because London isn't really England, it's its own entity, just like most capital cities in the world.
Where are the migrants coming from?
Everywhere, absolutely everywhere. So Afghanistan, Somalia, Eritrea, Pakistan, Iraq, Syria, they all say now they're Iranian. They all have their one to say that they can try and get in. But when we say migrants, they say asylum seekers. They're not asylum seekers. They've gone through 16 safe countries.
He's right here. He's completely right here.
And why do they come here to the United Kingdom?
Because they get a free house. They get given priority above us. They get everything above us. So British.
I would love to have any information. If you guys know anything about this subject, please pop that in the comment section below. I would love to know more if they actually do get a free house above you. Because I do know that in Norway, there is a little bit of the asylum seekers get a lot more stuff than native Norwegians.
People, you can go into this town centre, you'll find English people sleeping rough, homeless on the street. You go to a hotel and you'll see it full of 100 Pakistani men who are getting free phone credit, getting given money every week, and then in a few years,
this is a fair point.
100%
fair
so
point.
In the United States, the same thing is happening as well. They're bringing the migrants over, but our border is different. It's a land, and they cross over the United States Mexico border, and then they get put into hotels, and they get free healthcare, they get free phones, they get free everything.
It's not a mistake. None of this is a mistake. None of it. Your borders didn't open at the same time of our borders. Every border in Europe opened at the same time. 8 million people come through yours. They talk about them. Literally, they took out Gaddafi. They opened up the floodgates to Europe by taking him out. And the migrants literally go 20 metres off the coast of Libya and they get picked up by NGOs, which are funded by the German government, and then they get brought into Europe. And as they're brought into Europe, they come into our communities. They break down our communities. We're weakened, so and part of it is we're all looking and arguing with each other whilst they're eroding our rights and our freedoms, all of our rights and freedoms. So it lowers the wage, which they like as well.
And so they're literally able to come through.
I can't really speak for most of those points because I have no fucking idea. But I do agree with the last point where they were trying to erode everybody's freedom and we're making a lot less money. However, so far I don't really think this guy's a particularly trustworthy individual. He has some points. And that's one of the biggest problems with these type of individuals, because when they have a few good points, people do cling to those. And then they go, he said these things, therefore he must have a lot of intelligent conversation or intelligent ideologies or ideas.
On boats here into London or here into the United Kingdom, and they're let here and they're let into society?
Not just boats, they come through on student visas. They come through so many. We let last year 1.2 million legal migrants.
1.2 million.
1.2 million legal migrants.
And this isn't a very big land. Like, the United Kingdom is pretty small.
Pretty small. 6 million people. 60 million. We let in 1.2 million last year. And there's a housing crisis, and prices are going through the roof, and no one can get a property. Young English people can't get on the property ladder.
I have here the numbers of emigration. This is from the migration statistics in the House of Commons. 532 people emigrated, which means that leaves a net of 685,000, right? So always, again, take his words with a pinch of salt. It's not quite true because people are leaving as well.
Can't get a dentist appointment. People are pulling their own teeth out because they can't get a dentist appointment.
Okay, these are probably true
things.
things.
Paid into a system for generations after generations after generation. You've lived in the same family. Your family have died to save and protect this country, and then you're put second rate, and they're flooding the country. You're paying for it. You're struggling. You can't get a dentist appointment. There's so many problems. You can't even get your kid in a local school because they're all full of all the young Muslim kids that are getting brought in.
So would you say that the English people here in the United Kingdom are being replaced by the migrants?
Not just English people. Every one of our countries we're being replaced. The whole of Europe, like people talk about the Great Replacement, yeah? And well, like we were saying, they're replacing us. There's a 177-page document from the United Nations on their plan to do this. This is planned, yeah?
And what benefits do the migrants get here once they arrive?
Please, if you have this 177-page document, link it or tell me where you can find it. I don't believe it till I see it, but he's not wrong that there's a lot of immigration in recent years. A lot.
They get everything. They get houses. They get 3 meals a day. They get money. When I say they get 3 meals a day, you have got English old age pensioners who can't afford to turn their heating on.
Okay, this is true. I've encountered this. I have a few friends of mine in the UK that are older and live on minimum pension. This is a very accurate statement, and I will believe him on face value on this. That there's more than just the people I know.
English people are dying, starving, all these different things, living in poverty. And you've got hotels full. I'd say now this country, it's 1,000 years of English history here, 1,000 years. And within 2 or 3 generations, they've absolutely destroyed this nation. And they're giving it away.
Wow.
Fun fact, Colchester is still in the city.
All around the world, but mainly Central, South America. We get a few from Middle East. What countries are coming in to Europe?
So your migration, I always look to your migration when people moan about Mexicans and think you have no idea, yeah? When you get Middle Eastern, when you get Pakistani, when you get Syrian, when you get Somalian, you are going to have a shock, America, yeah? Because you think there's a problem from the Mexicans. You have no idea. The hostility, the rapes. You know the biggest problem in this country is they've literally, an invading army's coming to this country and raping their way through it. They're raping their way through it. Our daughters are being raped. 2.5% of this country is Muslim men. 2.5%. They're responsible for 90% of the convictions of groups of...
Okay, I want you guys also to remember this. Let alone the statistics he's talking about. But he said 2.5% are Muslim men. 2.5% of this country is Muslim men. Very important. This contradicts his former point. He said that our cities are predominantly foreign. And he's talking about the main cause of issues being Islam, as in the Muslims. But now he says that 2.5% is Muslim. So he's using his words and statistics incredibly tactical. Don't get me wrong, he has a lot of good points, and I don't know whether his point next is going to be really good or not, but I'm just saying, just again, pinch of salt, if 2.5% is Muslim, and that's the major issue that he's talking about, the Muslims coming in, then the country's not 50% foreign.
Of men that were young children, and 30% of the men convicted are called Mohammed. Like, it
Jesus
work.
Christ, okay, that is pretty wild.
Mixing oil and water. It's not going to work, it doesn't work, yeah? They're reliant on the state, they're not working, they're all on benefits, and these problems, as soon as you try and talk about these problems or highlight these problems, as an Englishman, or especially as a straight white male, they come down you like a ton of bricks. And the government,
okay, that is true. I agree with that.
Government failures in policy.
I quite sympathize with him on this particular aspect because I was predominantly brought up in a white town, so I really feel for white people at the moment, especially for straight white men, because it's almost like it's a sin to be a straight white male. Like everything wrong in the world is their fault, and that makes no sense as it's an individual problem, not a whole racial specific issue.
Yeah? So they don't want you talking about the problems or addressing the problems and warning about the problems of what open border mass immigration bring, especially from Islamic nations.
Would you say people are scared
Okay,
to
I'm
walk
not
around
disagreeing
the
with
streets
this.
here with all the migrants that are coming in?
Yeah, there's no-go areas across this country where women would be scared. I'll tell you what, go dress a young girl up and walk her through the town. Go dress a young girl up, an attractive girl, and tell her to walk through the Muslim area. See what happens. See what happens. Well, they're our daughters and they're our towns, yeah? And you've imported these people in, and you've took away the safety of the thing that we hold most precious to us, our families, yeah? And then when we try and talk about it, you want to silence us down. So we've been made to feel ashamed of being British, and all cultures are equal, which they're not, yeah? We are a superior culture. We should celebrate it. Being born English is like winning the lottery of life, yeah? We're the best country in the world, the best nation in the world.
Again, this is where I'm saying take this with a massive pinch of salt. He does breed nationalism very heavily. And I'm not saying nationalism is wrong, but he does find himself and his race to be superior. Don't get me wrong, a lot of his points are fine and valid. Like, they are taking away the number one thing that you want to have, and that's safety for your family. That is a completely valid point. But then he straight away goes into, we are superior. We're the superior race.
And we want to celebrate it.
Do you think the presidents of all these countries are in on this together, and do you think Donald Trump is going to interrupt this establishment that they're trying to create?
I don't think they are. We know they are. We know they are. There's an agenda. Now, I think Donald Trump, the reason why they've just tried to him was because he's going to get in the way. He's going to get in the way of what they do. They want war. They want the war in Ukraine. They don't care that 500,000 Ukrainian men have been killed. They do not care.
This is probably true.
It's money, it's profit, okay? And I think that if Donald Trump gets elected, we'll have peace again. Certainly bring back peace.
Tomorrow is the rally. It's going to be the biggest rally that...
It's going to be the largest gathering of patriots that Britain's ever seen. And that is a historic day and a historic moment, because people don't come out in support or celebration of their country. They've been dumbed down and made not to feel not to. So we're going to send the establishment, who will be watching tomorrow, we're going to send them a very powerful message that we're not sitting by silently while you replace us. We're not sitting by silently while you keep the borders open, and you destroy our security, our stability, and the future of our children's for our children.
What can we expect to see tomorrow at the rally?
Who knows, man?
I don't like him. I don't trust him. But to some degree, I can respect what he's doing. I'm not saying all the xenophobic and nationalistic ideologies I like or respect in that sense, but he's doing something for his country. Or for the people, or for even just his goal. He's doing something, and that's more than most people. So I'm going to say that I do respect that particular aspect of him.
The rally has now began here at Uniting the Kingdom, and now there are thousands, tens of thousands of people here. The time is here and now. How do you feel about all the migrants coming into Great Britain?
I'm not racist at all. Yeah?
Oh,
I
no.
don't mind them coming into the country and stuff like that. What I do mind is they're coming from war-torn countries and stuff like that. They're causing significant criminal offences, and the police are letting them get away with it.
The only way to stop this from happening is to stop war. And the only way to stop the wars is to find who profits from them, and then to allow the countries to self-regulate, just like the banks of Iceland. Yes, it will be a rough period. No, we don't need to help them. Yes, they'll be fine. But then we don't benefit from their iron or any of their minerals. or any of their natural resources, which we want. So war is good for business. And where do you think people need to emigrate from? Of course, it's fucking war-torn countries. That's where they need to leave. So this is the most fucking retarded point. Oh, it's fine that they come here as long as they're not from a war-torn country. But I do see his reasoning behind it. It's like, oh yeah, the people from war-torn countries are the people that will create issues.
It's what makes me sicken. My granddad will turn in his grave at the moment. At the end of the day, I don't mind people coming to the country. Britain is a great country. Come to Britain, but flourish. Yeah. Don't exploit the system. Come here, be happy and everything. You don't have to exploit the system. Britain's a great country. Britain is broken.
How can Britain get fixed?
How can Britain get fixed? Get rid of our government. That's what it needs to do.
Do you think migrants are going to continue coming in until the...
Of course they are, because the government's going to keep allowing it until we have some sort of restrictions on our borders. And now we've got a Labour government. And unfortunately, the Labour government has opened the borders even more than the Conservative Parliament. So unfortunately, there is going to be more immigrants coming over. And I understand why they're leaving their countries, their war-torn countries. But it's all males. It's a bit weird, isn't it? How it's all males coming over. Males on the boats. It's not women, it's not children, it's just males.
You guys have a rich history as far as World War I, World War II, and the veterans that fought for your guys' land. And
US doesn't have a long history. It's like 250 years old. It's like a baby. Like, I mean, maybe I'm being pedantic here, but the US is a baby country. And it's predominantly English and French and Dutch. If you didn't know, New York was used to be called New Amsterdam.
now you guys are being somewhat replaced by a lot of these migrants. A lot of these migrants are coming in and people are saying they feel like they're being replaced. And the veterans that fought for you guys are on the streets while migrants get put up in hotels. How does that make you feel?
Obviously, we're not happy about it. We've got nothing about migration. We're not against migration. We're about controlling our borders. If I was to go to another country, I would be vetted. And if I'd been in trouble before or had any past history, I wouldn't be allowed in. We're not about anti-immigration. We're about controlling the migration. And if we don't take control of the migration, we're going to be outnumbered in our own country. We will no longer be a Christian country. We'll be controlled by an Islamic movement.
I want you again to remember. Let's track up. 2.5%, he said. That was the guy who's anti-immigration. 2.5% is Islamic. 2.5%. You guys are not very close to that number of the 50-50.
That's what is worrying and concerning. £29 million spent on illegal immigrants in the last 18 months, all aged between 20 and 30, fighting age, no women, no children, put up in 4- or 5-star hotels, but yet there's veterans on our street, homeless, on the street. It's all wrong. It needs to be put right. Government needs to be outed. If we have to issue Article 61 on common law, then so be it. We will do it. That's what's happening next if they don't listen. We will not comply
You
next
believe a
time.
civil war is on the rise?
A civil war is inevitable. It will happen if they don't listen. 100%. We're not messing about. Yeah? They need to listen. They need to wake up. The sheeple need to wake up because they're asleep.
You don't see them coming across with their families. It's all military-age fighting men that are coming across. There are no women.
Where's the evidence for this? Have they seen like 3 pictures and somebody told them this? Or is it a genuine, like, is there like a statistic for this? I'd love to know. If anybody has any idea in the comment section, please tell me.
And children, they are raping our girls in the street because it's legal from where they come from. But they're coming over here, victimized. They're
What do you mean
attacking
it's
our
legal?
girls, our
That's
wives,
fucking
our
retarded.
girlfriends, our daughters on the streets. My partner, she's of mixed race, English and Jamaican.
Okay, that's a lot of those.
So she's half black, half white. I don't care what colour you are, what creed you are. You come to our country, you live by our rules. You
That's a
follow
fair
our,
point.
our
That's
laws,
that's a fair
and
point.
You integrate. They do not want to integrate. They want their own states. They want their own communities. They're fascists. It's not what it's about. They are fascists. They are the modern day fascists.
And then it's weird because a lot of people would try to label that Great Britain's are fascists for going against migrants. However, it seems like the migrants.
They will try and put the British. They will try and put the British man down. But at the end of the day, if it weren't for the British man and the Americans when they joined, the rest of the world would be speaking German.
Now let's calm the fuck down. We wouldn't, if it wasn't for the British man, most of America wouldn't be colonized. If it wasn't for the British man, most of Africa wouldn't be ravaged. Like, there's so many things. If you really want to go back in history now, If you really want to go back in history, if it wasn't for the British man, so many of the wars in Europe wouldn't have happened. If it wasn't for the British man, this and that, like, calm the fuck down. You chose two particular things that you found positive, but you can find thousands of things that's negative. What do you mean?
Right now, if it weren't for the British man and the Americans joining in.
We've realised that through falling away from the church, we've actually lost our identity, and we've allowed other people to come in. There are more churches closing in the UK now at the moment than there are public houses.
They're becoming mosques. Our churches are closing and being...
So do you know what to do? Start going to church again. Why are you complaining? Go to church. Make your state Christian again. Depends on, do you want it Catholic? Or do you want King Henry's church? Do you want the Protestants? A lot of these people are talking about shit they have no idea about. And I understand. They're not really there to be thinkers. But if you want the church to flourish, go to church. Donate to church. Do church things. Don't complain that they're going to mosques and doing mosque things.
Becoming mosques.
So you guys are traditionally a Christian country, but now you guys are being almost flipped to a Muslim country.
Yes, absolutely.
2.5% people, 2.5.
Do you think diversity is killing the Western world?
Yes, absolutely it is.
What the
There
fuck?
are literally over 50,000, potentially upwards of 100,000 people here at this rally because they are sick of what is happening here in the United Kingdom with the migrant crisis and other issues that are happening here inside the United Kingdom. How do you guys feel about all the migrants that have entered into the United Kingdom?
They need to turn around and go home. Yeah. Sorry, no. Not enough room at the inn. We need to get our own people sorted first, and then we can start opening the borders again. But until then, we need to shut our borders.
National Health Service is crumbling because we are...
The National Health Service was crumbling due to a lot of underfunding of the Conservative government in the two past terms with Boris Johnson and... not terms, but the two past prime ministers with Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak. And one of the largest blows was when they said leaving the European Union was to fund the NHS more, and then they took away the funding. So this is not the migrants' fault, but I actually don't get the point here. It's just stupid again.
We are getting people coming over and using our health system. That's all they come over for, is to use the NHS, some of them. And to,
Some of them, okay.
To make their kid, you know, us
No, I don't.
Most people work 40 to 70 hours a week. It's terrible. We can't even afford to live.
You know, we are a
Yeah, but that's not the migrants'
country.
fault.
We need immigrants to come into our
Yes,
country,
you do.
which is fair enough.
As long as they
Immigrants that are going to come in and put into our society and don't
Bring
try
something
and
to the
change the way
table.
that we live into the
Okay,
way
this is a
where
fair point.
you was living that you've left to come
These lot are moving in. Something's happening here. Look.
Now we are here at a counter rally. It's
Okay.
called the Stop Racism Rally, and they are very against Tommy Robinson, but we're going to hear what they have to say about the migrant crisis here in the UK. Smash fascism and racism by any means necessary. What do you think about the migrant situation here in the United Kingdom?
Mine is quite simple, that migrants are welcome here. Migrants, said it's not their fault that they have to leave countries
A lot of
which
them
are
aren't, no.
subject to war, to
Yes.
famine, to devastation. Wars that are often, in fact, to do with the West. It is the West that often
100%.
has been instrumental in those wars, if not actually causing them, at least fueling them.
Okay, what would you say to the people that say that the United Kingdom is being invaded?
I would say that's rubbish. I tell you what is an invasion. An invasion of our rights is from those people over in Trafalgar Square. That's an invasion. That's an invasion of an ideology of fascism which invades our country. There's the invasion for you.
So would you say that the people over there at that rally that we were just at are the part of the problem?
I would, absolutely. Whipping up racism, whipping up the idea of invasion.
Would you say the migrant situation is benefiting the country at all here?
I think migrants have always benefited the country.
Here you have a sign that says refugees welcome, open the borders.
See, that is a fairly good point because, again, I'm going to use the Brexit. When Brexit happened, so many people left, and it became such an issue that a lot of their waiters or people working in the service industry, people working as cleaners, all sorts of shit jobs they didn't want to do, and people leave and then they complain because they don't want to do those jobs. But now nobody wants to do those jobs. It's been a very good thing for the UK to have some sort of immigration. But I also kind of see the other side because they're saying we don't want certain immigration. You can't really fault them for being afraid.
No deportations. Why do you stand for open borders and no deportations?
Because, I think refugees should be welcome in this country. People should have a right to flee countries where they're being oppressed and find somewhere safe to live.
What would you have to say to the people? We were just at the Tommy Robinson rally, and a lot of them are very, it sounded like they're kind of like not opposed to the migrants, but they feel like they're being invaded by what's going on, and they should not be coming over here to the United Kingdom.
What would I say to them?
Yeah.
I would say to try and have empathy and understanding.
So would you say it's more of a
There's my problem again. They say try to have empathy and understanding, yet you aren't having empathy and understanding for the people in Trafalgar Square. You have to be the first person to have the empathy and understanding. I see where they're coming from, but here's the statistics of why they're wrong.
lack of empathy than anything when people complain about migrants coming into their countries?
I think it's a lack of empathy, a lack of understanding. I think it's fear, because there's a lot of
Fear for sure.
fear-mongering done by our politicians and by our media.
The right and the far right are just exploiting the narrative and driving the narrative. It ain't a big issue here. The bigger issues are the cost of living crisis.
That is the truth.
Would you say that with all the migrants coming in, the cost of living has risen because of rents, and it's harder to get rents?
Not because of the migrants, no chance.
Do you believe there is racism here in the United Kingdom?
Absolutely. You've only got to see the news. We all saw the police kick somebody in Manchester Airport when he was on the floor. Yeah, we've got institutional racism in this country, still.
And is that racism coming because of the influx of migrants that has arrived here in the United Kingdom, or where is the majority of this racism coming from?
I would put it down to people stirring up hatred to advance their own political aims.
I mean,
people like Tommy Robinson, who we've got in London at the minute as well.
What do you think about the migrant crisis here in the United Kingdom?
I don't think we've got a migrant crisis in the United Kingdom. We've got people coming here because they're desperate, because of the...
The one thing I will agree with Tony Robinson is that if they're coming through 8, 9 safe countries, then it's not because they are unsafe, it's because they want to get to a certain country, like Germany or the UK, for example.
Countries that we've exported war to, primarily, Iraq. I don't
Afghanistan.
think we're overwhelmed by migrants or anything like that at all. It's just a fantasy to direct hate at people.
I went back to Tommy Robinson's rally, and it seemed like all hell had broken loose after a man came to the rally with a Palestinian flag.
Oh no. Incitation of violence, baby. Oh yeah, run. I want to see this. Come on. Let's go. Sweet.
Peace corner! That is disgusting! That is so fucking.
Your shirt says, support the country you live in, or live in the country you support.
If you're not going to integrate, don't try and dominate. You cannot have them both.
If you're not going to try to integrate, you don't try to dominate. That's a completely fair and valid point.
Don't come in if you're going to try to dominate.
Yes. We don't want immigrants coming in to try and dominate. You want immigrants that's coming in that's going to integrate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so
I agree with
these
this.
Immigrants that are coming
I
in
actually
aren't
do agree
integrating.
with this.
What are they doing?
They're setting up a subculture that eventually is going to overpower the natural historical culture that's been here for thousands of years.
You think the culture of the United Kingdom is changing?
100%, yeah.
But the culture of the United Kingdom has been changing for those thousands of years. Like, this is I'm going to say it the best way I can, peasant mentality. You have to remember, you don't just have United Kingdom in here. You have the Vikings from the 1066 or whatever, they settled down in on the coastal lines. Like, there's a bunch of counties where you have different people that have settled in and added to the culture. I understand what he's saying, but I'm just saying that the argument is not the best.
100%. They're going to outbreed the nationalists in this country. They're having 4 or 5 children to our 1 or 2. So it's just going to be 2 or 3 generations you're going to have.
So in 50 years, this country could be an Islamic state.
It's going to be like Iran.
We have moved to the city of Luton. Luton is one of the most controversial, most interesting cities in all of the UK because it is known for being the most dangerous, diverse, and the roughest city in all of the UK. It's a home to lots and lots of migrants that came here. A lot of people are saying the migrants aren't integrating well, and you can see different sides in different areas where there's groups of migrants that are from Africa, Pakistan, all different parts of the world. However, they feel like there's a lot of segregation and difference in the society here inside Luton. So we're gonna go in, talk to the people, and see
that sounds about
how
right.
the migrant situation here has affected the city. And after walking around the town for nearly an hour, we finally met somebody that would speak to us. What is the town of Luton like?
This town is Luton. First of all, you guys coming from USA, so welcome in United Kingdom. Good to see you here.
Thank you.
So this is Luton. This is Luton, full of hospitality. Yeah, would you like water? Cold water? Please give me 2 cold water bottles, please. They are visitors on door.
We hear Luton is the most diverse town in all
Luton.
of the UK.
No, really, no. Who's saying to you? It's totally wrong. No. Please don't say that. No. We are very...
We've heard it's a great city, and there's many different cultures here.
Oh, yes, definitely. See, this is the other thing is most welcome every culture. Like me, I'm overseas.
I'm not sure if he's trying to put up a little bit of a front for the camera, because it's a little bit on the back foot. There's something here that's not quite that normal. And don't get me wrong, I have a lot of friends in this particular situation that aren't very good on camera. I'm not talking about brown people, and I'm just talking about any friends, like white, brown, Asian, whatever. So it could just be camera shy as well.
Even though I'm not born here, honestly, my kids is born here. They're getting bigger. Maybe, it's different. So many cultures here. So sometimes it happens, but it's not that. No.
How is the city of Luton?
The city is very beautiful, guys, but it's too dangerous, This is the problem. No work, too many crowds, too many, It's crazy, man. It's very crazy, and, this is the problem.
I don't know,
What makes the city of Luton so dangerous?
It's very dangerous, my friend. You don't have work
Why?
here. You don't have, and the people...
Why don't you move
you
then?
don't have work, you have bad situation. A lot of people, it's homeless, it's looking for jobs, it's looking...
I don't get it. If you have to live in Luton, can't you just move to the north of England when there's more work, or there's like any type of jobs and more housing? Like, I don't understand.
And when you refer to crackers, who are you referring to?
Crackers. Too many people so it's smoking in the street.
Smoking crack, okay.
And for this, because it's smoking, that people is dangerous. For people who have family, who have kids, it's dangerous, brother.
Okay. And what country are you from?
Me from Bangladesh, brother.
Would you say that with all the migrants that are coming here, it's made it a more dangerous city over the years?
Yeah.
Syrian, how long have you been in Luton for?
1 year.
What do you get in Luton? Is it free to live here?
Yeah.
How does it work inside the shelter? What do they give you?
This is super interesting. Because he gets to hear that he's one of the people that got it for free. This is super interesting. Oh my God, I'm actually excited.
Inside the shelter. Money, how much?
290.
Every month?
Yeah.
Okay, so they give the migrants here $290 per month, and with that, do you also get free rent? Free rent as well?
Yeah.
Do you like living here compared to Syria?
Yeah, of course.
And what's it like in Syria right now?
Nothing, just war in Syria.
So how did you get here? Did you come in boat?
Yeah, in the boat.
Scary?
Of course.
How long have you lived in Luton for?
Living be like 1 year and a half.
And how did you get here?
I get by boat.
By boat?
Yeah, from France.
What kind of benefits do migrants get here in the United Kingdom once they come over on the boat?
Yeah, we can get safety and help each other. We can get college, can do your job, finish it like 5 years, give you a house, they give you everything. But
so they weren't even exaggerating. They were literally getting a job, getting houses, getting everything. Oof.
It's not enough for us, you know what I'm saying? So.
And how long can a migrant stay in a hotel for?
I have no idea, but some of us, my friends, 2 years.
And just to show you guys how vast and wide and big of a crisis this is here inside Europe, and especially here in the UK, we are at Buckingham Palace, where the King and Queen of the royal family live. And just blocks away, migrants have set up their own encampment at a park. Literally within a few-minute walk from Buckingham Palace, a group of migrants from Romania had set up their own tent city. All right, so here inside
right outside of Hyde Park, isn't it?
Told I should leave. Hello, how are you? How long you guys been living here for?
Long time.
Long time? Yeah. And where are you guys from? Romania. The lady then told me she would speak with me only if I would buy her food. So next thing I knew, I was following her to a restaurant nearby to buy her some food in order for her to talk to me. She then accepted me into her tent city.
Whoa, Jesus Christ, she's angry.
Yes, all together.
But see, monkey together strong, family together strong. It's much harder to kick them out if there's like 40 people there and they all get violent.
What made you guys set up your tents here in this park?
This park?
Yeah.
It's council, a clinic. Look, put the clinic. It's very good.
So it's your whole entire family that has taken over this entire park, and looks like there's about 15 or so tents here.
Yeah.
Has the city tried to kick you guys out?
Yeah.
And what happens?
I don't have any little money. Here is the job is good. This moment is not possible a job.
Well, now she's starting to laugh, and now we're just talking here. So now we're deep in here. There's a lot of tents here, and she's saying they're from a family from Romania. They've been here for a few years here inside the UK, but now because they've lost their jobs and they are not receiving any more benefits from the government, now they have moved out here to this tent city that they have created as a family, and there's a lot of them right here. And
it's not that many. I understand that you wanted to be
come
like
in here, and now I'm gonna leave because some other guys in here were getting pretty hostile, trying to kick me out, and I don't want to get in any fights because here in London they also have a knife stabbing crisis. So I'm gonna.
This is true. In London, it's like one of the largest stabbing capitals of the world. It's ridiculous.
Get out of here.